Hey folks, hope you do good today. Thanks for tuning in to the Unsigned Showcase, kicking your week off with the Monday grind. Now, I know I haven't been here for the last couple of Mondays. Stuff came up. We had a total blackout last Monday in the whole of Europe, so I couldn't do anything then. But man, I'm going to make up for it today with 10 absolute banging bands, some longer tracks in there, so we're going to be here for ages as well. So I'm going to shut up and just get straight into the music. But man, we got some nice stuff today. Going to kick off with these guys, Sedative. We've seen them before. This is a nice one, 12 Gauge Apology. Let's kick off with these guys.
Oh, fuck! The one break inside! My right is money! Let the last year fight for the back of my mind! So if this makes you learn again, I don't know, I don't love anything! What's a lot of things, so that you out of my mind? I'm sorry if it breaks you again! I don't know how to love anything! Another life lost, another love lost. I say that I lost myself away. Maybe it was worth it, just to watch you leave.
Real bad man.
Another life lost, another love lost. Please, tell me that you miss me. Let's not get to something like that. It was not your day. All the fools was that I love. I didn't like me.
Slow down.
What position are you in with her? What position are you in?
Crazy. Man, these guys might not have blast beats to kick us off, but they got the power and the force that we need to absolutely rattle the earwax out your ears. Man, that is a heavy, heavy sound. Love the vocal as well, just absolutely ripping and going for it as hard as he can. Look dope in the video as well. Great video. Love the flappy bass strings and all of that, and the breakdowns and the pauses. Man, sick track, sick band. This one's a longer one, Disfigurement with Godtopsy, featuring Brian Hopp of Cephalic Carnage, who we've seen before. On an E kit as well. believe how good those drums sound, and I've never seen that type of kit before either. Is that the end of that track? Man, let me just get back to this drum kit. God damn it. Has anyone ever seen this drum kit before? I've never seen it before with those type of cymbals and stuff as well. But man, it sounded amazing. It really sounded like a natural kit for the most part. And the way he was working, it was absolutely killer, just ripping and tearing through it. Love the dude with the massive dreads as well. And half of his kind of strums must be from the dreads slapping on the strings as well, which is pretty cool. But man, these guys were just all over the place. I don't even know what you'd call this kind of music, just kind of avant-garde stuff. Experimental grindcore is what they call it. But yeah, it had everything going on in there with all the solos and the lead work and the kind of the tapping and all of that stuff as well that was in there. Amazing. Yeah, we've seen Cephalic Carnage before, and they're on Relapse Records. I'm sure we've given that one a spin. Oh, maybe not. That one's from 17 years ago. But yeah, I'm sure we've had these guys on the channel before as well. Sick! What's the next band called? Hasn't loaded properly. Oh, here's a band. This one's called HORSEBASTARD. This is a new band to the channel. They need more subscribers. But man, we've got a few videos from these guys in the queue now, so we're going to spin through them. This one's only 49 seconds, so we'll get through it quick. This is Peak of Stupefaction. Let's crank it up. Crazy band, sounding absolutely dope. Love the bass sound and stuff in there as well. Sick. Here's a band, VIDER, Pillaged, Raped and Slaughtered. Here we go. So jealous. Love the sound on this one. What an amazing sound. Couldn't barely hear any of the notes that were being played on the guitar. Just created such a rumble and just like a thunderous rumble low end. Sounded amazing. Drums cut through that in such a nice way. The cymbals were amazing. Hi-hat was nice and biting in your ear, but the washiness on the crashes and the ride sounded amazing. Really, really sick. But the effects on the vocals as well just made it so much better. Sat it in the mix, cavernous, dark, nasty. The whole thing was just dark and nasty as it comes. Wicked with the video as well. Man, that is what this stuff is meant to sound like. Just super authentic, unsettling, dark, nasty music. Yes. Here's a cool band, I Cursed. This one's called Blades. I think we've got some more from these guys in the queue as well, so let's give it a spin. Drummers nowadays. And musicians nowadays are just so off the chain with what they can do. Used to hear the odd shredder here and there, the odd good drummer now and again, maybe a good bassist once in a decade. But nowadays, everyone is just ripping and tearing on their instrument, absolutely shredding out. Amazing. It's a new band to the channel, I think. The track's a year old, though. Red Out. They've got Plagued Breath. Let's give it a spin. Crazy guitar tone again. Man, if you wanted a high gain amp, pretty much anything from the 80s onwards, there was a handful of amps that you could pick up. And you know, did you want the Marshall tone? Did you want the PV tone, or whatever? You know, there were just a handful of amps, the Engel one, whatever. And because of that, you could if you were a guitarist and you had your ear tuned in, you could pretty much know oh, this band's using this amp and whatever, or even the cabs as well to some point, because it was just a limited supply of what actually could do super heavy, high gain stuff. Nowadays, with all the digital tones and everything else, man, it's got absolutely crazy. And we've got tones that those older amps could never, ever achieve. Don't matter what pedals or anything you try and put in front of them. It's a digital era that's enabled us to have these kind of guitar tones, man. Unbelievable low ends, but with the tamed low ends, so you can still smash on the strings and it not absolutely blow out the amp. It's got a clarity to it, but it's still just the fattest, densest sound you've ever heard. Man, guitar tones are just the sickest thing ever. This band's called Code Error. They've got Paradigms. Here we go. Another great bass tone. Wicked. I love that they put the vocals and the lyrics on the screen with this one, because it gave you a chance to follow along actually with this super fast vocal, and it's a style of vocal you don't hear very often, because it's not just sticking to the bars and kind of doing a kind of a run through the bar. He's just ripping it out, it's almost like super fast spoken word. But yeah, it was really, really cool. It's just a style of vocal you don't hear very often. Nice. This is TIGABLAST, and they got Crime Fucking Scene. This one's very short, 25 seconds. Here we go. Yeah, short and sweet, but dope. Again, I like that they had the lyrics on the screen, because it had that fast style again, which was really cool. And that's something you want to read along with. Another great bass tone as well in that one. So there you go. Loving it. This is MORTAR. They're living in the shadow of a nuclear war, aren't we all? Here we go. Wicked guitar tone in this one as well, biting into your ears with a real kind of bubbling harshness, sounded amazing. But the best thing about this one, in my opinion, or the thing that made this track really, really nice, is the effects on the vocals again. Just giving it that kind of distant feel, distortion on there, reverb and delay and whatever it had on there to kind of push it back into the mix, so it's not just a raw SM58 shouting vocal, like hardcore vocal, which cuts through the mix in a different way. When you put effects, especially reverbs and delays and stuff, you sit your vocal back into the music. It like steps back away from the kind of being at the front of the stage, and I just think it sits in the music in such a better way than just having a raw shouty vocal. Now don't get me wrong, some music prefers a raw shouty vocal, but man, if you can add some effects to it, you just add more depth to the sound. It sounds amazing. Man, we've rattled through 10 bands today, and we've had some longer tracks in there as well. I don't know how long we've been going. 22 minutes. This is what we're going to finish off with today, though. Dungeon Ghoul, and this one sounds absolutely crazy, although all of them sounded pretty much crazy today. Here we go.
Engorging your organs till ye turn blue and bloated with bilge and brine and can scream no more.
Crazy. Ever since we had that jazz fusion band on with the horns about a month or so ago now, we've attracted a few other bands like that. They're very, very welcome on this channel because you know we like to do the absolute craziest stuff. But man, music doesn't get much more crazy and out there and just thinking outside the box in these kind of bands. I'm not sure it's stuff you can listen to over and over and just kind of think, yeah, I'll just slap that on and sit back and chill out. It's crazy music, but you know, you've got to sit there and actually kind of focus in on it and just appreciate the craziness. But man, when you spin 10 bands like this, to have a few bands in there that are just totally mental, really is a nice palate cleanser to go back into something a bit more normal, you know. Well, there you go, that's what I got for you this week. We finally managed to get another Monday grind out with 10 sick bands as well, new bands as well to the channel, and hopefully these bands will see the video and just keep sending their music over, because we've got that many bands out now. You know, we've been spinning 10 bands that hopefully we're going to start seeing those bands coming back around. We're just going to have way too many videos to spin, because these guys, you know, they're the kind of bands when you're putting out 1 and 2 minute tracks, you should be able to pump them out, you know. So hope you have a good week. We haven't got any more reviews lined up this week, but I appreciate if you checked out any of the modern metalcore and other stuff that we had. We had some crust metal, which was really nice as well last Friday. I know, you know, most people are here for the Monday grind and the grinding out, but we do other reviews of underground bands on this channel, and if you just want to check them out and see what it's about, that's really cool. Other than that, we'll be back next Monday for another Monday grind, another 10 bands already lined up in the queue because we're doing nicely, so look around for that. Cheers guys, bye.